Good afternoon, everyone. Deborah Wheatman with Careers Done Right. I hope you're doing great. Today I'm going to be talking to you about when job interviews are a little weird. There is a theory out there that postulates that traditional job interviews don't really give hiring managers or recruiters an accurate read of a candidate's likely performance in a certain role, largely because interviews can be too brief, formulaic, or riddled with bias. Some organizations are taking a more scientific approach to interviewing, in which they control for obvious variables. For example, some orchestras require that musicians audition from behind a screen, so the panel of judges don't know the gender or race of the person. This enables musicians to be judged solely on the quality of the music. However, for every hiring organization that applies logic and reason to its hiring practice, others employ the opposite approach, using oddball questions and tactics in their quest for the quote-unquote perfect candidate.
What's going on?
Welcome to the Battle Royale. Right here, right now. Operation Soaring Falcon is in its final stages.
It's a bad practice in an employer's market. In a tight labor market, it's extra bad. Here are some examples of how creative interview practices can really go over the cliff. First is oddball questions. This is the most common manifestation of interview silliness. Anyone who has been on more than 10 interviews in their professional career is likely to have encountered something like the following. What song best describes you? If you were stranded on a deserted island, what fruit would you be? How many manhole covers are there in New York City? Dumb, irrelevant questions.
We're going to ask you a few questions that some of our candidates find a little bit odd.
Let's get
No
weird.
judgment, shoot.
You're shrunken down to the size of nickels and dropped to the bottom of a blender. What do you do?
It's not so much getting out of the blender, it's what happens next. That's the question.
You've got two nickel-sized men free in the world.
Next, perform for us. Asking a candidate to demonstrate how she would solve a particular problem is a common and legitimate interview task. It's completely reasonable for a hiring manager to ask a prospective employee to create a brief overview of their solution and present it before a group. However, I have heard of candidates who have been asked to give an impromptu speech on a random topic. Think your high school debate team or something like that.
So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before.
Conducting interviews via text. Why? Why on earth would you do that? Skype, FaceTime, Google Hangouts, or the old-fashioned phone interview all work, and they work well. Why would you want to conduct an interview over text? This is even worse than asking candidates to submit written responses to your interview questions. Total waste of time. Next, using undercover operatives. One company is known for being committed to hiring for cultural fit. How do they vet that out? When they fly candidates out for in-person interviews, the driver who picks them up from the airport is actually a company employee who observe the candidate's demeanor, body language, and interactions with other people. The bottom line, gimmicks don't attract talent. Hiring managers need to put the brakes on that process and understand that candidates are interviewing them as well. Focus on what matters: critical thinking, problem solving, people skills, and a track record of achievement. I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, please like and share below. Here's to the right career for you.